Hey, here we are once again at the very lovely and today a very snowy, not sunny corner of Glenwood and Lunch. Once again, we're in the heart of Rogers Park up here on the stage at the Heartland Cafe for another edition of the Live from the Heartland Show. I'm Michael James. I'm here with
Katie Hogan.
How are you, Katie?
I'm here. I'm up, and I haven't shoveled a bit yet today.
I actually was looking at the laws, talking to my kids about shoveling the sidewalk.
Oh, you were first looking at laws before
I looked at the law. You got 3 hours
shoveling?
after, or 6 hours after the snow has stopped before you have to have your sidewalk shoveled.
I see.
It's 3 or 6, so one of those deals.
So did your kids ask you to look up that law, or did you look it up, Michael?
Well, it was part of my ongoing campaign to have them shoveling snow. I derive great pleasure.
It's funny.
My wife has given me the choke signal from the audience here. Okay, We're here at the Heartland Cafe. We got another show. We got a really nice lineup. We're going to have Kristen Crowell coming up for a campaign for a better Illinois. That's really going to be about a fairer tax system here in our state. We've got Kevin Costola from Fire Dog Lake, and he has been covering the NATO 3 trial. He's going to give us an update and a report. And we're going to start off with Brad Meinecke, whose dad, Tristen Meinecke, is a renowned Chicago artist who had passed away, and there's sort of a resurgence going on, bringing back interest and concern and attention to his artwork. Good morning to you, Brad.
Good morning.
Good morning, Brad. Welcome to Live from the Heartland.
My pleasure to be here.
All right.
And how did you get here this morning?
I was driven by my girlfriend and archivist, Tristen Meinecke.
Oh, always nice to have a ride.
Absolutely.
Well, you found a place to park and everything? There is parking for all the people who come to the Heartland in the Field School parking lot. You enter in the 1500 block of Greenleaf. So
Today it might be a little
all the
slip-sliding.
people who will say, well, I'd like to come there more often, but it's hard to park. There is a parking lot now, and there's also one up at Trilogy.
Okay, so Brad Meinecke, on the art of your father. First of all, were you an only child?
No, I have a younger brother named Scott. He's working, which is why he's not here today.
So you and your family are basically bringing back or helping to assemble the artwork, and I understand there's a documentary film in the offing.
Yeah, Chicago Filmmakers is in the middle of producing a documentary. My dad was a prolific creator and artist. He did music. He was a jazz clarinetist and saxophonist. He wrote compositions. He did a lot of stuff with writing, and also he created 700 pieces of art, 500 of which he sold, 200 of which we have.
That's amazing. While we're talking, let's give the website that people could be looking at his work.
tminecke.com. That's T like Tom, MEINECKE.com.
All right.
All right, you have a bunch of events coming up. I mean, there's something happening. I mean, this is what caught my attention. And, I remember that when Penny and Franklin Rosemont would put on their surrealist shows here, your dad was part of that. Tell us a little bit about your dad's art, the kind of work he did, and what's coming up.
Well, that's a difficult question because Dad painted in just about every medium known to man, including some that he invented himself, which is a historic fact documented by Dr. John Corbett of the Art Institute. My father did found art, for example, before the term was even coined. He created a split-level, three-dimensional medium.
What does that mean, split level? I was looking at those pieces.
He would put the way it was invented.
Sounds like a suburban house.
Kind of like very typical for my father. It involves something getting struck. Now he never hit the kids or mom, but he was known for punching out people and being very arbitrary, a little hard to get along with.
An aggressive dude.
Yeah, he was pretty
enthused and aggressive.
He was pretty aggressive.
Cantankerous, Mo.
Cantankerous, absolutely.
Okay.
Someone said he was the two-fisted Da Vinci scowling through the back alleys of Lincoln Park, which is pretty accurate. Certainly, he was a bona fide genius. He was drawing photorealistic art at 2, and the split-level medium. He was painting one day, and he had covered one painting up with another because he thought it was bad. So he got mad at the second painting and threw a hammer at it, and it broke this big hole. And he looked through it and he said, "That looks really awesome." So he developed this technique where he would basically put 3 different paintings together and then cut them out.
And throw hammers at him.
Well, no, he only threw a hammer at it once. That was
He sounds truly the consummate artist. He was so prolific.
He was prolific.
Where did he
was
hang out in Lincoln
constantly
Park?
He built his own small castle on 2022 North Cleveland.
Yeah, it
he didn't
looks
hang out with anyone. They hung out with him.
He didn't go like Oxford's Pub or any of those joints?
No, he was not. He came to Chicago in the 40s, and he came with his clarinet, and he played with folks like Warren Baby Dodds, Earl Hines, the real serious jazz people. And he was known as he never judged anybody by the color of their skin at all. And then back then it was highly unusual. Now it's common, but back then it was very unusual. And a lot of people, he had a lot of problems because of that, got in a lot of fights because of that. And
I can well imagine.
His attitude was, I'm playing with the people that have the highest musical IQ I can find. And I don't care what they look like. So people would sometimes say, oh, your dad's not judgmental. I said, oh, no, he's real judgmental. He just has his own standards.
We're talking to Bradley Meinecke and about his dad and the efforts to put together some, both a documentary film and some other avenues for showing his dad, Tristen Meinecke's works. And if you want to look at them, it's tminecke, tminecke. .com.
Another way to get to the site is through the one from my mother, angelcasey.com. That's a little easier to remember.
Is she still with us?
No, they are both passed away.
Yeah. He passed in 2004.
Do the museums in town have any of your dad's art?
I believe there are some that do, but the records are hard to dig up. And
well, as a kid growing up, I mean, did your dad make a good living off of doing his artwork?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
He was a working artist. And that's what John Corbett wrote. Had he been born in New York or California, everybody'd know his name. Or lived there, right. If he had moved there, I think is what he said.
Somebody once said he narrowly avoided fame in the 50s.
Yeah, exactly.
Dad was his own worst enemy in terms of business. Because he didn't care about anything or anybody. He had his own, very iconoclastic. And if someone didn't like or liked his work, he didn't give a damn. And he didn't care who was, who he was talking to. He treated everybody the same.
Brett, can you tell us about the film that's being made about your dad's work?
Well, talking about art, it's a lot easier if you can show it. But my dad created in so many mediums, you actually have to see it to understand. He would have agents come to him and say, give me 5 of these and I'll make you a millionaire. And he would say, no, I'm done with that. And he would move on. Mm-hmm. So the documentary kind of is showing that visually. It's tracing him from this early stuff back in the late 30s all the way up to the stuff that he did before he died in the 90s. So it's basically a kind of retrospective through film on Tristen Meinecke. But what the documentarians have found is that what was unique about my father and my mother is they crafted a lifestyle. They bought a property, they decked it out, 2022 North Cleveland. They had a swimming pool, and that's a funny story in and of itself. You can't have a below-ground pool in Chicago.
Right.
So he bought an above-ground pool and then dug it out.
One of the first.
So he had a 6-foot deep pool that looked like it was only 3 foot deep. And
so this film being made is by Chicago filmmakers?
Yes.
And how far along is it?
I'd say they've collected quite a bit of footage. I would think maybe about 50%, but I'm not 100% sure on how far along.
And there's some kind of a kickoff, like on the web about what's it titled? What's it called?
The Resurrection of Tristen Meinecke. It's a modern Renaissance man, lunatic genius. It's going to be starting February 7th.
All right, and there's an event with it?
There's an event that's going to be 2 weeks long. For limited time only, we're going to be showing people, allowing people to come in and look and see and feel and touch the art.
Where?
And our goal, 2357 West Chase is the address.
So that's a home?
Yes, and you can also, it's a 3-flat, typical Chicago 3-flat. And you can also go on the Underground Multiplex site, undergroundmultiplex.com. So those are the 3 sites, tminecke.com, angelcasey.com, theundergroundmultiplex.com, that you'll find information on this. The Underground Multiplex is part of Chicago Filmmakers that's doing the documentary.
So you got 200 pieces left of your dad's work.
Roughly.
And what do you want to do with that?
We want to find a home for him. When my father first passed, we sold a few, and then they were stored in the basement. Storing art is difficult. We weren't really up to it. So an artist that was alerted by a single text message from Miss Atchison came and saw it and said, "Oh my God, this is historic. This is really great art. This is relevant. What's it doing in the basement?" And then we have another fellow, Glenn Schreiner, an artist of note. He came all the way from Colorado to help on this project.
Colorado.
All that
all
way.
the way from this to help with this project. And
Mecca.
he's worked for free, and yes, sir. Soon to be, if not already. But he came all the way out here to work. His work is stunning in and of itself. But he saw my father's work and said, "I got to be a part of this." And so we've had several people gravitate to the project. This fellow named Norm Johnson, a lot of people that have come and worked it because the art is so compelling. And without them, we wouldn't be able to do this. So this
Well, we're
is
going to
awesome.
come out and see it.
Yeah, definitely.
And how about giving us the dates and the direction to find information?
Well,
Once
the-
again,
the-
One more time,
One more time.
The opening is February 7th.
which
The
is 1 week from today.
Next Friday.
The particulars are available on the site, theundergroundmultiplex.com, tminecke.com, angelcasey.com. Any of those sites will get you to where you need to go. And
Angel Casey.
angelcasey.com,
That's your mom's name?
TV pioneer.
She's a Casey, and you called her Angel. Your dad
No,
called her Angel.
her name
It
was
was,
Angel
it was her
Casey.
stage name.
Wow, it's a nice
real name was
I'm partial
Lorraine.
to the name Casey.
Well, there you go. Go to angelcasey.com and check it out. But I guarantee
She
you
was
one
a
thing.
lovely lady.
Oh, yeah.
Very
The
good-looking
line
woman.
on the site says he looked
Yeah.
into her eyes and knew he was a long way from home.
Well, we want to thank you for coming on the Live from the Heartland show, Brad,
Yes,
and we're
Brad.
looking forward to seeing your dad's artwork, Tristen Meinecke's work, and it's always great to know that there are kids of people who are trying to further their parents' name.
Yeah, that's very
Well,
nice.
we want to further the art, and the art deserves to stand on its
All
own.
of it.
and-
The
Absolutely.
parents,
It's awesome.
the art, the whole deal.
And it's my pleasure